Om Shanti. So first, today we will understand the importance of two things. People say, count your blessings. And when they say count your blessings, they mean that you have a shelter, you have running tap water, you have food on your plate, or you have an income. But then all that is transient. So it is a blessing today, but it is the reason to be afraid tomorrow. So when someone starts counting their blessings and they include these materialistic attainments, so let's say I say that today I have running water in my tap and a roof on my head and food to eat, then the next thing is, will I have it tomorrow? And then that makes me scared. That is why, even counting your blessings doesn't make you happy. But Baba teaches us the truth about blessings. And Baba says that you're the most fortunate soul. Every cycle, when you hit the rock bottom, then Baba comes magically and just uplifts us. He adopts us, makes us belong to Him, teaches us, the Supreme Teacher teaches us, and He again puts us, back to our position of a deity in Satyug. So this is a fortune. This is what you call blessing. And this blessing, we Brahmin children, that's our destiny every cycle. So when you just think about who you are and who you belong to and what you're studying to become, that is what you call counting your blessings. And then the second thing is staying in the awareness of your fortune. So one thing is, I am fortunate, but the next thing is staying in that awareness, because a soul experiences everything inside, in the man and buddhi, through the man and buddhi. So until and unless my man and buddhi is in awareness, so I, the soul, am in awareness and I'm experiencing the intoxication of having such an elevated fortune, then the fruit or, the power of that fortune doesn't come to me. So I have to sit in the awareness of how fortunate I am that Baba comes and adopts me every cycle and teaches me, and right now He's teaching me, and I am that fortunate soul who is studying from Baba to become a deity. And in today's Murli, Baba is emphasizing the importance of study. And Baba says that, there is a lot of difference between a king in Satyug and a king in Kalyug. And Baba, so in Kalyug you say that uneasy lies the head that wears the crown. So this is the, saying in Kalyug, that somebody who wears the crown cannot sleep well. So his head is always heavy or uneasy. And then it is said the burden of being a leader. So when you're a king or a leader in Kalyug, I don't know whether that is something to be congratulated for or celebrated, because again, you are in a responsible position, and you are responsible for all the irresponsibles, which is not a very good idea. And Baba says that even that position is held to be very lucrative. So even in Kali Yuga, people aspire to be in a leadership position or be a king. And then Baba says that even that in Kali Yuga is considered to be a position to be sought. And when people seek it, then Baba says that the ones who do dan and punya, so when you have donated a lot in your last birth, that makes you a king in this birth. So from Dwapar Yuga, this is how you become a king. So how do you become a king? So when you have done charity in your last birth, that's why it is said, born with a silver spoon in mouth or a golden spoon in mouth, because you have to be born to a king to be a king. Yes, so or you must have done something in your previous birth. And Baba says that those who do a lot of charity in their last birth, they become kings in Kali Yuga. But it is not the same in Satyug. So when we become kings in Satyug, the basis of becoming a Satyugi king is education. So we are studying to become kings. And this education, this study is something that Baba gives us here right now. And we are studying to become kings. Now, today I was just thinking about, this study, and Baba today says that I am making you study to become a king. I am giving you the knowledge which makes you a king. And what is knowledge? What is study? So education makes you aware of things that you are generally unaware of. Yes, so do you remember that we have been using our hands for so long, but we didn't know that these hands could be so dangerous and such great carriers of COVID virus. And then we were made aware that these hands can kill you, and then you were taught to wash them and sanitize them and not touch here and there. And so we understood, during COVID times, although although education had taught us to wash hands and everything, but we didn't know that hands could be so lethal, as in they could carry a virus and it could be so dangerous. And we didn't know the importance of such regular sanitizing until COVID came. So sometimes so education and awareness is required to bring into our buddhi that which we are generally very unaware of. So Baba says that I'm also giving you education, and today Baba is giving us the education about time. And Baba says that people waste time and they gossip. Yes, so Baba is teaching us today. So this education. So Baba is educating us today about the karma we create in time and through words. So are you aware that we create karma through words? So obviously we are all aware, but how aware? Aware like we were aware that we need to wash our hands every hour, or aware like we came to know that we need to sanitize it every 5 minutes? So that is the question. So we are aware that we create karma through words, but what is the intensity of our awareness about how much karma is created through words? And in the Murli today, as Baba speaks, you come to a place of realization about how much karma is created through words. And you see that when Baba spoke the Murli, it was only words. But these days, people are not even using words, they are typing and texting and forwarding. And sometimes you're not even typing or texting, but you're just forwarding something that found a place in your inbox. So it came to your inbox and you did the karma of forwarding that information to others. So that is also something that counts as karma. And so karma is created through speaking, writing, texting, forwarding. And Baba says that the karma created through these methods is so huge that it can make you a sinful soul. So Baba says, if you don't pay attention to this karma, then you will end up being a sinful soul, because you are creating too much karma through these actions, through these, writing, talking, texting, and forwarding. And Baba says that in the world, people don't have knowledge. So they will always engage in these, actions which create paap, which create sin. But you don't have to engage in any of that. And you see that when you, and also Baba says, not only talking or forwarding or texting, but also listening, seeing. So when you listen, you see, that also counts as karma. And Baba today says that when you are in contact with somebody who is gossiping, who is trying to talk ill about somebody or discuss a situation in the drama, then what you do is, you should know that this is your enemy. Yes, so Baba uses this word enemy today. And Baba says that when there is somebody who is talking ill about somebody, or they are defaming somebody, or they are just, discussing. So, these days people discuss the news and then they talk about how violent everybody is and how, the situation around you is. And Baba says, when you listen to these things, what do? They affect your state of mind. And they pull your attention, pull your buddhi towards that area, towards that vibration which is low. So when your attention is focused on somebody's wrongdoing, or when your attention is there where something that is sorrowful is happening, then what is it that your mind is feeling? So we know that wherever attention goes, energy flows and that thing grows. And we also know that wherever we place our attention, we experience that, and that becomes part of me. So Baba says that when there is somebody who is directing your attention towards situations and behaviors and people's people's weaknesses and their wrongdoings, then you must consider that person to be an enemy. And what is your attitude towards an enemy? I found this word enemy in the Murli very interesting today. So that is why I'm underlining it, because you see that Baba teaches us so many things directly and so many things very subtly. So Baba says that is your enemy, somebody who is trying to spoil your heart and your mind and move your attention to this stuff. Do you encounter such souls who are always interested in discussing somebody's weakness and discussing what's going wrong in the world? And so I know that, when students also come to the center, they would tell me, Didi, it doesn't look nice to discuss, but I think you should be informed that this person is like this and they do this and they have this sanskar. So you're very sweet and simple, Didi, so you should be informed about these things, and that's why I'm sharing this with you, although I don't like it. So they will keep, camouflaging their their desire to gossip with these words, and they would like to make it very knowledgeful and very responsible, and then they would share that with me also. So this is what happens. And then Baba says you should know that this is your enemy. Now what do you do with your enemy? That's the question. Do you hate your enemy? So what do you do? So when you know that this is your enemy, then what do you do? So do you hate your enemy? So Baba usually says that Maya is my enemy. Yes, so we have learned from Baba that Maya is your enemy. So do you hate Maya? Has Baba taught us to hate Maya? Keep hating Maya? No. Baba says, beware. So what do you do when there is an enemy around? You beware. And you keep your awareness, your virtues, your powers ready. That's what you do with an enemy. And I remember, there was so when we used to listen to kings having battles with other kings and stuff, so earlier days also, there was not much hatred between enemies. Yes, it was more of a, how you engage with the enemy rather than your attitude towards the enemy. And you remember that, so we have also heard stories where Porus was, captivated by Sikandar, and then Alexander asked him, how do you want to be treated? And he said, I would like to be treated like a king treats another king. So that is the kind of swaman enemies also had. So even when they were captivated and imprisoned by an enemy, they did not lose their dignity. So Baba says that, when you understand that there is someone who has this sanskar, because Baba today very well says that, when people don't have knowledge, this is what they do. This is how they pass their time, and this is how they engage their thought. This is all they know, and this is all they are good at. So they will come and discuss these things with you. But what you do is, you have your guard in place. You should stay in a lot of awareness. You don't have to stop the other person if they are not interested. If you see that they are interested in listening to you, then you try to tell them that, we can discuss this later or not discuss it now. But if the other person, so maybe you have a guest or maybe somebody is here for a very, very little time, and you think that if you just outright tell them that I won't engage in this conversation, then maybe that relationship will not go well. Then what do? You put your guard in place. You stay in awareness that I have to listen but not listen. I have to see but not see. I have to keep my virtues and my powers open. And Baba has given us the power to withdraw. That's a very important power in this case. And what does the turtle do? The turtle sees the enemy and he goes inside. Yes, he just goes inside, becomes introverted, and then the enemy can do nothing to the turtle. So Baba says you also withdraw your senses, your attention from what's going on outside. And then Baba says you also don't have to share anything with anyone that would spoil somebody's, heart. That would mess up the state of their mind. Don't share anything which doesn't, which is not knowledgeful. Now, what is knowledgeful? Now, Baba says that use your Vani, use your Vacha to share knowledge. Now, what is knowledge? What is the difference between knowledge and something that is not knowledge? So, that which is not knowledge spoils your heart. It fills your heart with hatred, with jealousy, with anger, with disappointment, it decreases your enthusiasm, it fills your heart with fear, it fills your heart with a sense of unworthiness. So that is what you call pap karma. So when you fill somebody's heart and mind with these feelings, so your words induce these kinds of feelings in the other, then that is pap karma. But when your words fill somebody with, so when you pull their attention towards the truth that person is a soul and a child of God, and that they are going to be future deities, then this kind of a knowledgeful conversation, this fills their heart with hope and faith and power and love and peace and happiness, and they fill their minds with encouragement. So that is what our words should do. Our words should not undermine somebody's spirit. They should uplift somebody's spirit. Yes. And I remember that there was this little girl, and she used to come to the center, and every day when she would come to the center, she would ask me, Didi, how am I looking? So she used to wear new dresses, and she would come to the center and she would ask me, Didi, how do I look? So I would say, you look very beautiful, but not because of the dress, because you are beautiful. And you are very beautiful. You're the most beautiful one in the class, I used to tell her. And then I used to tell her, but it's not because of the face, it's not because of the dress, it's because of you. And then, slowly, gradually, her mother told me that when I select a dress for her, she tells me that I look beautiful anyway because I am beautiful, so it doesn't matter what I will wear. And then, when COVID came and the mother and child couldn't come to the center, then she would tell her mother, I want to go to the center because Didi tells me I am beautiful, and nobody else tells me. Everybody says your frock is good and your hair is good, but nobody tells me you are very beautiful. So Baba says that, always speak knowledgefully. Always speak now knowledgefully. And when you speak knowledgefully, you are pulling a soul's attention to themselves, their worthiness, their dignity, their value, their peace, their happiness, and how they have a choice towards peace and happiness. So whenever you speak, make it a point that your words move the soul closer to self-realization. They move the soul closer to having a sense of connection with Baba, and they move the soul towards hope and faith. So Baba says, when you are talking, texting, writing, whatever, or forwarding, please make sure that the message you are sending is doing that. It is bringing a soul closer to self-realization, to the realization of their own worth and dignity, and towards this, the soul is feeling closer to Baba and feeling closer to the source of power that the Supreme Soul Shiv Baba is. So Baba says, this is how you should engage your senses. So also when you hear or see stuff, don't, so Baba today says, hear no evil, see no evil, talk no evil. And very important, because this is how you create karma. And what is evil? Evil is anything that moves us away from self-realization, that makes us vicious, that encourages lust, anger, ego, attachment, greed in us, that instills a sense of unworthiness. And what is the opposite of evil? Anything that brings us closer to our own spiritual power and to Baba, and inspires and instills hope and faith in the golden age. That is what is the opposite of evil. So, do you understand that every word you speak has to pass through this test, and everything you hear and see has to pass through this test before you do that? So this is education, and Baba is giving us the awareness of a very important karma today. So let us underline this and keep it in our heart, and let us check it in our chart that this is how we are paying attention to our karma of words and writing and hearing and seeing. And then today Baba says that your time is very valuable, and you do not have to waste it in gossip, but then what do you have to do with it is very important. So Baba also teaches us and underlines the importance of remembrance. And Baba says, you should consciously develop the practice to remember Baba, because the rule is you become like the one you remember. So Baba says, use your time, use your thought to remember me. And this should be a very conscious, very aware practice in us Brahmins. And Baba says, this is what will make you prosperous. So Baba says, by remembering, by hearing, seeing, talking evil stuff, you are becoming degraded. And by remembering me, you will become prosperous. So don't forget this. And then Baba today says, also do seva. So keep your body, your mind, your wealth engaged in seva. Because you see, when it is not engaged in seva, then it becomes the door for wasteful action and negative action. Yes, because you have a body, you have a mind, and you have wealth. And until and unless you purposefully put it to, service, then it becomes the door for all sinful action to happen through them. If you have a lot of time and you have not made a plan to remember Baba, or you are not practicing Baba's remembrance, or you are not engaging it in seva, then obviously you will engage in time pass, which is not time pass, but it makes you fail. So time pass actually makes you fail. So Baba also underlines that pay attention to what not to do with your time, but also pay attention to what to do with your body, mind and wealth. Because if you don't pay attention to the latter, then obviously you will create vikarma through it. And then Baba today gives a very simple example. So, generally children say that when I remember when there is somebody who is there in and around us, then it is easy to remember them. And when Baba is invisible, so you can't see Baba with the naked eye, so that's why remembering Baba is very difficult. But today Baba gives a very good example. He says, let's say somebody got married today and then the husband dies tomorrow. Then also they keep remembering that husband for many years. Yes? And that husband just died the next day. So he's not visible to you, but you remember the husband, right? And you always say, my husband was like this or my husband was like that. So Baba says, its remembrance is not connected to, visibility. Remembrance is connected to your sense of relationship with that person. And Baba says, you have a relationship and you feel a deep sense of connection with somebody who makes you impure, then why can't you have a deep connection and a sense of relationship with me who is making you pure and making you the king of a pure world? So Baba poses this question, and Baba really makes it clear that remembrance is not about remembering the one who is before you. And I will tell you one very interesting thing. So, Baba, so there was this lady, and I met her, and she was married twice. So her first husband, he died, and then she got married to another person, and her children were 30 years of age, and still she would keep remembering the first husband. So she would talk about, and then I asked her, how long were you married to the first one? So she said 6 months, and then he died in an accident. And how long have you been married to the second one? She said, I've been married for 35 years. And then she remembered the one she was only married for 6 months to. And when I was reading today's Murli, it reminded me of that remembrance has got nothing to do with who you are with in the moment. Remembrance is about who you hold in your heart deeply. And Baba says, a sensible soul realizes, what Baba does for you. So when I sit and think about how Baba has left his soul world, and he has come and is sitting here in this impure world and adopting me, educating me, empowering me, doing so much for me, then how can I even say that I forget Baba? So this is something. And then today Baba says that, when there is an examination, then children study hard before the exam. And they go and find a place of solitude, and then they study there. So, do you understand that we are very close to the exam? Do you understand that we are very close to the exam? So, we are all studying, and we are studying to become a deity, but then there will be an exam in between, and that will be the final, paper of destruction. And we are very close to that exam. And Baba says that just like students find a place of solitude and study hard during the exam, and good students are very focused on their study, similarly Baba says that, and in Hindi, this word solitude is called ekant. And Baba has given us the word ekant, means ek ka ant. So when you go into the depth of that one Baba, So that is real solitude. So Baba says, now that the exam is approaching, what you do is you go into the depth of me. So you just keep connecting to the depth of the ocean of love that I am, the ocean of knowledge that I am. And this is how you prepare well for the exam. And our study has 4 parts. So when Baba says study, so our study is knowledge, remembrance, purity, and service. So Baba says, pay very good attention to all the 4 subjects, because this is the time for you to appear in the exam. And if you don't be in the remembrance of one and pay attention to these 4 subjects in a concentrated way, then how will you pass? And then Baba says that just like, when students prepare for the exam, then their friends come and knock the door and ring the bell and they call them and distract them. Similarly, Maya will distract you a lot, and Maya will bring a lot of storms into your mind, but never engage in any vicious, sinful action. So this is also something that Baba warns about. And then, Baba today says that put up pictures in your house. So wherever you live, you should have Baba's pictures. Not just the picture of Brahma Baba or Shiv Baba, but also the pictures of knowledge, the kalp tree, or the staircase, or Trimurti, you should, or the drama wheel, you should have these pictures at home. And Baba says that when you have these pictures at home, then children at home will be encouraged to understand them. And these children, they will be, and I will share one story from a senior brother in the Yajna. And when his parents received Gyan, they put up pictures in the house. And then when he came from the hostel, he saw that the whole house was converted into a kind of museum. And he got very irritated. And then he just, tore those pictures. So he just tore them. And he said, what have you made this house? This looks like a museum now. And he got very angry. And then he was walking out and he said, I cannot live in this house for another moment. And then the parents said, okay, so let us take you to a hill station. It's a very beautiful place. And you can spend some time there. You don't like living in this house. And they took him to Baba. They took him to Madhuban and to Sakar Baba. And when he went there, so everybody, so Baba used to it is called Bhaki Pehenna. So Baba used to hug every child. And then when his turn was coming, he was also in that queue, and he was not aware of who Baba is or what's going on here. But then when his turn came, he thought that if this person doesn't hug me and he just shakes hand or something with me, it will be very insulting because everybody he's hugging, and if he just shook hand with me and did not hug me, I would not like it. So what he did is, before Baba could signal whether Baba wanted to hug him or just shake hands with him, he went and he hugged Baba because he thought that other people around shouldn't think that he's some untouchable and not worthy to be hugged by Baba. And although he felt inside that he doesn't have the same bhavana as others, but he went and hugged Baba. And when he hugged Baba, he felt that touch of the Supreme Father, that feeling of being close to the Supreme Father. And from that day, his journey started and he never returned back. So you see, this is a very interesting story, and I do not know whether it's a very good example to give, to put pictures in the house, because those pictures were torn. But I don't know, the pictures must have done some magic to push him to Madhuban. So Baba says that you must keep pictures in your house, and you must create an ambience where the children listen to knowledge. And you know, there is this one sister, and yesterday she was sharing that she reads Murli every day at home. She reads it out. It's not like she just reads it quietly, she reads it out loud. And then they have only 3 or 4 rooms, so you know, the children also, they are in and around. It's not like a very big house, so they are in and around. And then the son said, Mummy, I don't like you reading the Murli in such loud voice. So the mother said, see, you have a choice. You can leave the house or you can be here and listen, but I am not murmuring the Murli, or I am not reading it quietly. I will read it like this. And she said that, you know, the son, he got habituated to listening to the Murli like that. So this is how it started. And these days the son asks, will you not read the Murli today? And what is in the Murli today? And what is Baba saying today? So Baba says that, you know, create an ambience in the house where children also start listening to knowledge and understand knowledge. So even if you cannot take them to the center, they are unwilling, they will always see pictures in the house, and then that will create that kind of a foundation where those children will explore knowledge on their own also. And then Baba in the slogan today says that where there is zeal and enthusiasm, there even great tasks are accomplished. And Baba always says that zeal and enthusiasm is the breath of Brahmin life. So just like a body dies without breath, Brahmin life comes to an end if there is no zeal and enthusiasm. And I think the biggest effort in Sangam Yug is to constantly maintain that state of zeal and enthusiasm. And how do you do that? You know, the biggest method is knowledge. So knowledge is fresh food. It can make you bounce back to zeal and enthusiasm if you listen to knowledge and if you churn on knowledge with that kind of interest every day. That's why we have a daily Murli. And somebody who is motivated, somebody who is with zeal and enthusiasm, and when many Baba's children are in equal zeal and enthusiasm, then even the biggest task of world transformation doesn't look very big. So this is something that Baba shares today. Okay, Om Shanti.